Hi guys, thanks for checking the video out. I had a really good question from one of my subscribers regarding shaft flexes and more importantly within the wedges. And the question was good question. Used to get it a lot when I used to work in the pro shop. Do you need a different wedge shaft, or do you need a different flex, or do you need a completely different shaft in your wedges compared to what you've got in your irons? So I've got one of my wedges here. You'll see that I've got a KBS C-Taper Tour in there. It's 130 grams, it's an X, so I personally just use exactly the same. I totally understand why people will use slightly different flexes or slightly different shaft, but I always keep it the same. A couple of reasons for me is obviously the finish on the C-Taper, I want it to look the same. So that's the reason I'm going to stay with the same shaft. And I don't feel any difference with this shaft. So the premise with changing, and I know like Rory McIlroy, he certainly was when he was playing Titleist, he used to use Project X 6.5s all the way through the set until he got into his sand wedge where he went down into a 6. So a 6.5 is kind of an X, and the 6 it's still slightly stronger than a stiff, but a 6 it's certainly nearer the stiff. So he was basically going a flex down because of the feel. So like I say, totally understand why someone would do that. I personally don't. With these clubs, they're a forged head as well, so I'm finding that the head itself gives a nice soft feel. So like I say, I felt no reason to change, but totally get why people would, and changing for that reason. So obviously that's a feel reason. You could argue, so if we were going to go from a performance standpoint, and this argument was actually thrown at me by quite a good fitter, and he said, think about where you're using your wedges or what types of situations you would use a club when the ball is in thick rough and you've really got to whack it and you don't want that club twisting at all. So you go, well, that would be the wedge. So he was arguing, well, surely you need something really stiff and stable to allow you to play that shot. So can you see with this argument, you've got the feel side, the field camp saying, well, yeah, you should go softer, but then you can argue from a performance standpoint, you could go even stiffer. So I certainly, and I'm using that as an example, I certainly wouldn't be suggesting to go stiffer. But yeah, so it's an interesting one. You've also got the performance, you can get the spinner shafts, so they're going to put more spin onto the ball. I don't know enough about those shafts. Shafts don't tend to be able to change that much compared to the head. So I don't really understand how those shafts work or what effect they can have. I mean, I'm not saying that like the marketing is lying. I'm just not sure how actual impact it could have on your game, because I think the strike itself would probably completely change the spin characteristics, and far more so than what that shaft could do. But it might change the feeling. So I don't want to comment on that too much, because I haven't actually used any of those shafts. I don't have that much experience with that type of shaft. So if you are somebody that does, get a comment below. Do you find those I think they're dynamic gold spinners? Are they DG spinners? Have you had them in your wedges? Have you found that it's made a difference? But from a performance standpoint, like I say, I change. I get my heads come in a bit flat, so they have to come from the custom fit department. So as they come from the custom fit department, I just got the shafts in that I have in my irons. If I was a standard lie and a standard length, would I be happy just to take a wedge off the shelf? Yeah, definitely. And I wouldn't fear that I'd have any detrimental effects in terms of performance. So again, going back to the pro shop, that used to be the question I would get a lot. You know, surely I want to order it in with a special shaft. Whereas if it's there in the shop and you like the feel of it and you like the look of the head and doing the specs are all fine, I would just be buying it there and then and going and using my new toy. But again, there's slightly different scenarios and quite an interesting one with equipment. There's always different opinions, and sometimes they're completely different ends of the continuum. So my take-home message would be: try them. If they feel good, use them. If they don't feel good, don't use them, or try and find something else that feels a bit better. God, information coming out of my mouth. God, I should write that stuff down. Like I said, get some comments down below. What are your opinions on wedges? I mean, I'd like to hear. Like I said, it's quite an interesting topic, because I don't think there isn't really a right or wrong answer. So, like I say, if you've got an opinion or you've just bought new wedges, let me know what you went for. Get some comments down below. Hope to catch you soon.